Okay, guys, so now that the Set 11 trailer is out, we get to react to this instead of having to spam games of Set 10 trying to get Heartsteel Ezreal to work. I'm so tired of playing that comp. I'm so tired of playing this set. I'm so ready for this new video, dude. All of these new things. This is freaking exciting. I already had an idea of what it was.
Enter a world
based on the name.
Intertwine.
I kind of thought that they were gonna do the Fright Night skins with like Draven and the Urgot and stuff that look like the Borderlands skins, but we'll see what they end up actually releasing here.
With reality, and fantastical beings tempt fate and fortune. With a new mechanic and roster, each path, decision, and encounter will paint your journey.
So hyped for this. So ready for the next challenger push.
Hey Tacticians, I'm Riot Blue Cove, a gameplay designer who's most proud of my work across the legendary units of this set and sets past, MECH PILOT.
And I'm Sloan, the gameplay designer behind the set mechanic you're about to encounter.
We're so excited to welcome you to our new set, Inkborn Fables.
Yeah, I watch with captions on. I don't care.
In the world of Inkborn Fables, brushes with fate and mythical creatures are inevitable. So we created Encounters, a new mechanic that brings the thematic to life.
Encounters.
At various points in each game, you'll have chance encounters with legendary beings. They can be just for fun, or literally game-ending.
Oh no.
Some encounters have a small impact on your game. If Alawi shows up, she'll grant you some free rerolls. Encounters set, and all tacticians get way bigger, then shrink down a bit, with no gameplay effect.
What?
Why, you ask? Well, set's just passionate about bulk and cut cycles.
Okay,
and sometimes it's fun to have a more normal game of TFT.
Yeah.
Then there are the game-changing encounters. Cho'Gath, for example, gives players a choice. Feed the beast and permanently sacrifice a shop slot in exchange for a reward, or play it safe and keep your shop fully intact.
I wonder if it tells you what the reward's gonna be.
I've got to talk about this next one,
Or if it's
which
always
comes
three
from some
handles
very
like that.
loud player feedback. Fishing minigame enthusiasts, we see you. When you meet Tom Kench, you'll want to stand in puddles to collect fish for the River King.
Ranger the biggest
More
fish
you
in the
collect,
sea,
more
right?
loot everyone gets. And then there's the Kain encounter.
This is what we're talking about.
If Kain appears, he'll announce his return on puddles to collect fish for the River King.
Oh,
the more fish you collect, the more loot everyone gets.
We're gonna be the biggest fisher
and then,
ever.
There's the Kain encounter.
This is the key
If Kain
set,
appears,
baby. This
he'll
is what
announce
we're
his
here for.
return on a predetermined stage. When he returns,
This
he
is my
ends the
set.
game. Whether you're first or eighth when that time comes, your fate will stand. Encounters will show up in a variety of ways and will impact all players equally. Over the course of the set, you'll have the chance to see more than 70
if you're an eighth, but you have an insane
unique
board,
encounters.
you just lose.
But expect some of the spicier ones to be more rare.
Early game only. I hope that's not a frequent
Now let's
encounter.
talk about some of the traits you'll discover in Inkborn Fables. First up, Exalted. If you love adapting on the fly, you'll love Exalted. In each game that you play, a new subset of champions will be given the trait, creating novel opportunities. This trait buffs Exalted champions and their adjacent allies, so you can play it as a vertical or splash it into other comps for support. That flexibility is vital because you'll be building dramatically different
Is this gonna be
comps
like
each
admin,
game
or-
as the Exalted roster changes.
Sounds like not
Next
quite like
is
admin.
Mythic. Mythic units gain a bunch of stats. After 4 combats, these myths become canonical. They just double their bonus stats.
Okay.
Hui, League's sad lad artist, will make his debut as a 5-cost mythic. His artist trait lets him paint duplicate copies of your benched units. We're also revisiting
probably OP.
a fan favorite, Fortune. So get ready to bring out the thumbnails. But Fortune is
Okay, I didn't
especially
play the stuff
exciting
that
this
had
time
Fortune.
around because for the first time ever in TFT, we're introducing a new character to Runeterra. Our new tank Yordle is an absolute unit. Well, by Yordle standards, because he's only about 4 feet tall. This fluffy fellow will join the ranks of tanky Yordles, AKA
I see
just
Kog'Maw,
pop.
Gnar, Bard.
Despite being a 1-cost,
Tristana,
he scales
Caitlyn.
nicely into the late game.
Maybe
Because the
Zoe
more
and
interest
Teemo.
you earn, the more permanent health he gains.
And he summoned Tibbers, is
Okay,
riding Tibbers.
now I've got to
That's
share my
sick.
favorites. First up, Fated. Bond 2 units together, and you'll make them stronger. Now, Keith.
Oh.
Speaking of favorite couples, there's one more unit I want to call out. Xayah and Rakan. who enter the set as a single 5-cost via their unique trait Lovers. The trait allows you to swap which lover takes to the battlefield based upon where you place them. Each lovebird has their own ability that will also tag in their off-board partner for support.
That's
Ready
cool.
to build your own hero? Storyweaver champs create a build-your-own summon in the form of Kale.
Is
As
Kale
you
in
write her
every single
legend,
set, dude?
through reaching
Kale's
trait breakpoints,
so fun to
you'll
play
have the
with.
ability to empower her spell, grant her new passive, or even see her ascend.
Okay.
Now we'll pass it over to this set's
Wonder
engineering
what-
lead to give you
how
more
much she
info on the
costs.
5-cost for Storyweaver that required all new tech to live up to her Blade Dancer moniker.
Another 5-cost Fiora? Oh no. 5-cost
Hey everyone,
Fiora?
I'm Anurag, the engineering lead of Inkborn Fables, who led the tech for Irelia.
Oh,
And I'm here with
Irelia.
Winston, the gameplay product lead for this set.
Hey everybody.
Usually when we make a champion in TFT, we have plenty of examples to draw from in League or previous sets for the tech.
Just here
This
to
was the
see
first time
what
where
she
we had to
does,
build the
man.
tech for a champion from the ground up, because the concept was just so unique.
When I first saw this, I thought it was her ability, but it's actually just her auto attack.
Okay, that's like Aurelian Soul.
Engineering is at the core of making games.
It's the same
Designers and
ability as
artists can
Aurelian
dream up the
Soul's thing,
wildest
where he
things,
shot the
but
rockets
it
and it was
always
super
falls to
boring.
engineers to figure out how to actually build them.
Okay.
So when design wanted to bring Aurelia's legendary blade dancing
What
abilities
are
into the game,
termites
we
blind?
went to Anurag and said, design wants to do something impossible. So in a real way, we went to
Oh.
engineering to see if we could make the blade dancers'
that's really
blades
cool.
truly dance.
This guy.
Get this currency through passes, treasure realms, and events, regardless if you're a
Oh.
free-to-play player
We're
or
changing
mythic content
currencies. How
enthusiast.
fun! Yay!
This currency will
Let's
be
go,
used in the
guys. Let's
rotating
spend money
shop,
on TFT.
some reward track, similar to
Oh! Look how this Masterwork chest thing's back. Now you can spend $200 for your skin guaranteed. Cosmetic spoilers. GB heart guys. They wear their eyeballs.
Never really made a face at all.
They're little like frog creatures. That's freaky. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Inkborn Fables. Cool. Well, as you can see from my browser, we already have gotten some more leaked information on metatft.com. And I skimmed this, but I didn't actually read all of it. So this is what we're talking about here. Randomly, you get an encounter. You might run into an encounter. Encounters can appear 2 to 5 times per game. Oh my god. So does that take the place of a combat, or does it just... So maybe you only get like 4 combats every stage instead of 5? 50% chance to drop gold or on kill or death. So there's a lot of different things. Quality of life changes, cosmetics. Okay, here's all the encounters. Ahri bestows your team a combat blessing for the rest of the game. Okay, we'll read. It goes... Okay, it's alphabetical, so these are not necessarily in stage order, which I would have preferred, but whatever. Alune, which is Aphelios' schizophrenia. Permanently empower 1 tier of champions. That's kind of cool. Stages 2 to 6, Amumu. Amumu gains amazing gifts to anyone who will be his friend. Okay. Ash, stage 1 to 6, reveals your upcoming opponent. That's cool. Cho'Gath, stage 3 to 5, offers you a boon if you sate his hunger. So that's like sacrificing one of your shop slots like we just saw. And I wonder now, they can appear 2 to 5 times per game and impact all players equally. There are over 100 possible encounters, and these are just some of the highlights. So do we all get the same encounter, and then we all get the same options to choose from? Diana gives you, when you sell a unit, Diana cleaves their completed items into components. That's like scrappy, or whatever, not scrappy inventions, that other augment. For the next 3 rounds, any champions purchased gain 100 health from Garen. Kayn ends the game at stage 5-4, and you know that at stage 1, so that's a whole different game. Kobuko invites you to dance. The more players that dance, the better reward is. Lilia moves the augments to random rounds. Lysandra sells you as many components as you want. Malphite will remove items on any benched unit. Neeko summons a 3-star 1 cost, and help for 3 player combats? Oh, I see. So that's super random, but okay. So some people just get really strong 1 costs, but no traits for 3 combats, and then it goes away forever. I wonder if you can put items on them. The Orin forges 6 artifacts, which last 1 round. That's also kind of weird. Shen offers you a choice of starter packs containing champions and components, so that's like a Warlord's Palace. Sivers makes you speedy. Syndra gives you a carousel. Teemo lets you guess your fight RNG, and then if you guess, you get a reward. Teemo adds golden spatulas to champions. Wukong gives a radiant item to champions on the carousel. Xayah Armor Khan, recombobulator. Yone, extra rerolls on augments. Yorick, field 7 champions, regardless of level. Oh, at least 7 champions. So you could, everybody at stage 1 gets 7 champions. That's actually going to be a cool one. Everybody is just like always Cruel Pact guy, huh? Zoe changes reality. So only odd levels exist this game? I don't know what that means. Okay, here's our units. In order from 5 cost down to 1 cost, it seems. But I like to do things in the other way around. So let's just read a little bit from each guy, right? We can find out some of the more important things. Yasuo is a magic tank that scales with armor and MR. Sivir is a 1 cost attack carry. Her trait is Trick Shot, which does what? Trick Shot units. Trick Shot's ability is Ricochet. Each Ricochet does a % damage, so that's kind of cool. Rek'Sai, 1 cost magic tank. Ability scales with health. Malphite, attack tank. Ability scales with AP and armor. Kog'Maw, magic carry. Ability, so he gets his ult, his raining artillery, and attack range, so he doesn't have to move from the back line. Here's our new guy, Kabuko. When you gain interest, gain health per gold collected. Gain health per round. That's kind of neat. Heal over 2 seconds and bonus magic damage. So he's like Gragas, but he's better than what Gragas was last set. Kha'Zix is a 1 cost assassin. So Reaper might be the backline access trait this time. Reaper. Lots of Reapers. What the frick is a Reaper, dude? Reaper's abilities can critically strike and they gain critically strike chance. Additionally, Reapers bleed enemies for 60% bonus true damage. So yeah. That's definitely our assassin trait. And he leaps towards the lowest health enemy. Jax, magic strike. Magic tank scales off of AP. Garen, attack tank, scales off of AP and attack damage. Shields for attacks and attacks deal bonus damage, so not quite as strong as Garen last set. But it makes sense because he's a 1 cost. AP Darius does his Q, his damage in an area. Cho'Gath magic tank, Caitlyn attack caster, Ahri magic caster. So this is like, oh, this is literally just Caitlyn from, oh, and it's Sniper also. Caitlyn from set 3.5. We were just playing with that. Here's a Zyra. Now we're into the 2 costs. Summon 2 Vine Lashes. Yorick saps power from enemies. Teemo throws a dumpling, but it's just Teemo shrooms. Shen gets damage reduction and bonus attack. Sen is a sniper. Fires her Q, a laser, and gives attack speed to people. Riven's an attack fighter. Deals extra damage to current target and adjacent enemies. Kind of like what she was last set, huh? Qiyana, always a fun unit. For 4 seconds, deal bonus damage. and to enemies behind them. So she gets like a Titanic effect. Neeko, tank, heals and jumps into the air, does her little ult thingy. Lux throws throw a bunny spirit, dealing magic damage to the enemies along the way and enemies at the very back. So that's kind of backline access. Lux never really took off last set, so maybe they'll make Lux OP for a little bit this set. Kindred's in a magic carry that dashes away and does damage. Janna is a magic caster that does shielding and a little bit of damage to the nearest enemies. Gnar gains attack damage on getting hit and throws boulders, so he's always Mega Gnar the whole time. I'm very curious what these traits are gonna do. Aatrox, magic fighter, shreds and does damage, healing for some. Now we get 3 costs. 3 cost Zoe. Kills increase the number of ricochets by +1. Fire missile ricochets to the farthest unit within hexes, and so then you get more ricochets by killing them. 60 mana, little blue buff holder. Dash and spear form to the furthest enemy away, dealing damage. Volibear magic tank. Heals, does damage for a couple seconds. Tristana, attack Reaper, but doesn't have the Reaper class. I wonder what that means. Jump on the lowest health enemy. Okay, so Reapers are just like executing people some way or another. Thresh throws a lantern to shield people. Tom Kench gains health and does more damage if the target has less health than him. Soraka, each time your team loses 20% of their total health, gain 10 ability power. Okay. Alawi, tank, shields, tentacle slams. Diana, tank, shields, 4 hex zone, damage reduction. Bard throws meeps instead of attacks. Aphelios, of course, you have to have Aphelios if there's going to be a Alune, right? Attack caster, sunders enemies, then shoots them. Gains, there's faded bonuses, so that's like a, what's it called from a couple sets ago? I don't remember. Magic tank Amumu. Heals and heals for the amount of damage that the crying does. Oh, wait. So we also just have a Alune, which is Aphelios' schizophrenic sister that lives in his head. Except she's real. And she's got the Diana Q icon. Rain meteors through the row with the most total enemy health. Meteors deal damage. And damage to the adjacent targets. And it affects a little bit of shred. Grant 40% attack speed. Umbral Invoker, Faded Sniper, but they're not like Zyre and Rakan, so they don't actually get like a duo bonus. Now we get into the 4-cost carries, where we get some 4-cost roll down techs. Morgana, Magic Caster. Blizzard that deals magic and chills. Lilia, Magic Caster, does an orb and rolls in smaller orbs and throws mega orbs on a 3rd cast. Lee Sin Carry potentially. Kicks the target's spirit out of their body, mana reaving them and stunning them. Bonus damage to enemies who get hit by that ability. Kane transforms, dealing magic damage to enemies, gaining crit strike. And that'll be a fun unit to play, dude. You just get a Kane and he just goes crazy mode, doing his dash cast through everybody. Kaisa, Trickshot has the bonus stuff. Fire 20 waves at the current target over 2 seconds, each dealing damage. If an enemy is hit by 10 waves, they take extra damage from the waves. Galio, 4-cost tank, taunts enemies, and becomes less likely to take damage. Or takes less damage, I mean. Start with 15 arrows, gain an arrow every attack, active fire, volley, and the 3 closest enemies dealing damage per arrow. And then a 4-cost anti-tank. Heals by burning, casts Tibbers, and then does area effect burn. So she just rides on Tibbers and just starts messing everybody up. That's kind of sick. And we finally made it to the 5 costs. So the 5 costs fun guys will be Azir, who has Janna's old E as his ability icon. Fires a beam. Spawns a Guardian. Guardian does not move or attack, but it has a health bar. So he summons a target dummy, basically. Wei creates a portal, and allies heal in the portal. Every 3 seconds it explodes, and dealing a little bit of damage. And for some reason he also like copies a unit on your bench if you want him to. I don't know how that works though. Aurelia, we saw in the video, was kind of does her little blade dance thing, but what's her actual ability? Swiftly strike the 3 lowest health enemies. Okay. Converts 25% of her attack speed into the faster blade movement and 50% into attack damage. Okay. Lysandra turns them into a teapot, dealing massive damage. And if they die, you get an orb, so Qiyana from last set. Otherwise, throw the teapot at a large group of enemies. Rakan from Xayah and Rakan. Rakan dashes into a group of enemies, gains shield for each enemy hit, and reduces their damage by 10%. Xayah throws feathers at close enemies, and then pulling the feathers back, dealing damage. So it looks like maybe they cast both of their abilities when you play them, but it just depends on which unit you actually want to play. Set gives adjacent units the same row permanent attack damage. Tibbers. What? What? Tibbers isn't a real thing, right? This is just what Tibbers does when you throw it out from Annie. Udyr. 5-cost Udyr. Ram Slam. Charge through them, knocking them up, grabbing an enemy and slamming him into the ground. Or Tiger Strike, empowering his next auto attacks. I don't know how you choose which one, but I'm assuming maybe he just alternates between them, or you place them on like one side of the board or another or something. Wukong does a bunch of abilities. First he throws a staff, then he spins and deals damage, and then you dash to the enemies in a 3 line, and then slam down the staff to all the enemies hit. Well, that'll be a fun one. Now that we've looked at pretty much everybody, I'm going to see how all of these traits stack up. My predictions will be like Kog'Maw will be a carry, Yone will be a carry, you get a Riven carry again. These 3 costs look kind of fun. Obviously, 4-cost roll down meta definitely going to be pretty prevalent in this set again, I think. But hopefully the fortune thing isn't as bummy as the last one was. Also, I did sneak a peek down here and look at the portals. We're back into a meta where portals or we get tactician's crowns, or we get crowns for stuff. Arcanist Crest, Arcanist Crown, so we're able to boost up our traits by +1s based on our augments now. That's kind of cool. Looks like there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 28 traits total. Altruists heal the lowest health enemies for damage they deal, and they gain armor and MR. Arcanists gain ability power and grant ability power to allies. Artist is Hui's thing. That's him copying a unit on the bench. Gain a 1-star copy of the champion placed there. Rounds to complete equals unit's cost. Decrease with Arcanist star level. Behemoth gain increased armor and MR. When a Behemoth dies, gain 50% more for 5 seconds. Bruisers, pretty standard. Dragon Lord. Xayah, Rakan, Lee Sin, Diana, Janna. After 8 seconds of combat, Dragon strikes the board, dealing true damage to enemies, and granting attack speed for the rest of combat. Is that our summon trait, or is our summon trait going to be something different? I hope it's not that. That seems like the lightning strikes from that other set. Dryad gains ability power and health. And each enemy death gains health permanently or no? Seems like 4 per death. It's not. It seems like it would be permanent, right? That's for mostly tank units, plus maybe Kindred Carry a little bit. Duelist gain attack speed. That's pretty normal. Exalted was the first trait that they talked about, so units will randomly become exalted. Your team gains bonus damage plus more based on your level. After combat, store XP into a soul core. Sell the core to claim the XP. Faded. Hover one faded unit over another to form a pair and unlock a faded bonus. Oh, okay, so that was Aphelios, right? But not Alune? Pair gets the faded bonus. All faded champions get 120%. All faded, so it's a vertical trait. Your pair gains 20% health. But can you only put faded units over another faded unit? Or can you put like Aphelios with Alune? When you lose a fight, gain luck. Lose luck when you win. Roll a dice. In that many combats, hold a festival. At the festival, you have an option to convert your luck into rewards. That's cool. Upon dealing or taking damage 7 times, ghostly units send 2 specters to haunt nearby enemies and heal for max health every 2 seconds. Every 3 casts, Wukong grows his weapon, modifying his abilities, so he gets like stronger stuff. Heavenly is another small vertical. Stat bonus to your team, increased by their star level for each. That's like kind of a summoning trait, but not really. Ink Shadow items seems pretty boring, but the Ink Shadow items are down there later. We can talk about those. Invokers gives your team's mana. Ooh. Invoker traits have notoriously been kind of hard to balance, but also kind of fun when they work. You get like a full mana generation team, so like Invoker Kog'Maw, and he just like permacasts his ability a million times. Invoker Alune, or Invoker Annie, then she gives Tibbers infinite health. Lovers is the Zyra trait. Mythic is attack speed, ability power, and health. After 4 combats, they become epic, increasing the bonuses. Instantly become epic, and it's increased by 200%. So another vertical trait. Porcelain champions Boil, gaining attack speed and taking less damage. Reaper is our trait for backline access / execution / just kind of like fun abilities to kill people. Combat start, Sage. Allies in the front 2 rows gain Omnivamp, and the back 2 rows gain ability power. Sniper's damage for hexes. Spirit Walkers. That's just Udyr's ability. Healing to full, increasing movement speed after when it changes his ability at 50% health from Ram Slam to Tiger Strikes. Storyweavers summon a hero named Kale and evolve her. Storyweavers gain max health. So Kale is a summon, not a unit. That makes sense. I wasn't even realizing that I didn't see Kale that whole time. Pick a supportive effect. Pick a combat effect. Okay. So a vertical summoning trait that gives Kale combat effects, and if you get 10, she ascends. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units only. So you need 3... what's it called? You need 3 things to evolve her, but also... Okay, Spat plus Chain Vest. I am a big fan of all things related to summoning traits, so hopefully that's a viable option even at just the 7 breakpoint. Obviously, you know, there's always going to be just like the super OP version. You're not going to have a lot of variability in what abilities you actually get to pick, but maybe there's enough to where you can get creative with it. Trick shots, we saw that. Ricochets, Umbral, which is Alune, but not Aphelios again. Huh. The moon illuminates hexes, shielding units placed on them, so KDA. Umbral units and illuminated hexes execute low health enemies. That's cool. Yon is a Reaver plus an Umbral, so definitely some potential there. Wardens gain damage reduction and additional damage reduction for after 10 seconds. Here's all of our new trait emblems. Craftable ones. Faded. Oh, that's cool. Dryad for bonus health. Ghastly for the weird ghosts that get sent out to heal. Heavenly. What does that do again? Heavenly. Wait. Oh, it's in alphabetical order. Hello? Keys. Heavenly gains stat bonuses. Oh, and for each unit star level in play, you gain more stats. Got it. Mythic is craftable. Porcelain's craftable. Storyweaver and Umbral. So making somebody an Umbral is probably OP. Here are the Ink Shadow items. This one's for attack damage carries. Every third auto fire bolts at low health enemies, dealing 100% attack damage. Tattoo of Force. Oh, they're tattoos. Ooh. We like tattoos. When the holder acquires a new target, they run quickly and stun them, dealing magic damage, doubling the stats of the item. That's a tank item. This is an attack speed carry item. Deal 35% targets to low health. On takedown, gain 40% attack speed. Okay. Tattoo of Protection, another frontline item. When it breaks, gain shield. When the shield breaks, gain 50% of shield amount to 2 nearest allies. Here's an ability caster thing. Applies Toxin that deals 50% to damage to targets over 3 seconds. Attacks heal the holder for their max health and deal the same amount as bonus damage. Oh, so like a little tank DPS guy. Storyweaver items. These are our Kale things. So Ascended Kale is OP. 500% attack damage, 250 ability power, plus 2% attack speed. That's probably incorrect. It's probably 200%. Kale's ability has a wider range. Attacks gain 6% attack damage stack. Ginsu's. Damage, attacks, and shred and sunder. Yeah, whatever. So ability power to adjacent allies. Attacks speed to adjacent allies. Revive the strongest ally that hasn't been revived yet at 1500 health. Deal 10% more damage when she casts. She fires 2 waves. Deal 10% more damage. Attacks now hit a 1 hex surrounding the target. So I'm assuming Swiftness, Speed, and Mending are our support ones. And Mending is definitely the most OP. And then Force, Haste, Aid, Power, and Swiftness are our combat augments. So you get a support augment first, and then you get a combat augment second and third. And then if you hit the 10 breakpoint, you ascend. Wider area, Ginsu's, probably just Ginsu's OP. 10% more damage is also OP. Or fire 2 waves maybe. Be interesting to see. I can't see you wanting to pick Sunder and Shred since a couple of units had that already. Let's see if some of our give +1 damage to enemies after winning combat. Lethal Legends? That's nobody's gonna take that. That's not good enough. Oh, on the Kane Legend though, that could be actually really cool. Is our favorite augment still a thing? Our favorite augment being Cruel Pact. There's no more Cruel Pact. There's no more Cruel Pact. No, dude. Shopping spree. Crown, starter kit, the egg. Twin Terror? I thought we were over this, dude. Wandering Trainer is now just an augment. Wrath of the Moon, so that's some Umbral bonuses. What about our Kale thing? What augments support our Storyweaver? Let's go this way. Crest Crown, Emblem, Call to Adventure. Every 2 takedowns, Kale permanently gains 1 ability power and 10 health, gain a Garen and a Sivir. That could be fun. I don't think it ever showed us what Kale's ability actually does, though. Right? It did not. Whatever. I guess we'll figure it out. That'll definitely be one of the first videos that we play, and then from there on, we'll try to find out which of the reroll traits are the most fun. Also, there wasn't just like a, I guess the Heavenly was like our default like reroll trait, right? 1 cost, 1 cost, 2 cost, 2 cost, 3 cost, 5 cost. That makes sense. Well, I guess I will be seeing you guys on what, March 5th or maybe March 6th for some PvE videos relating to set 11. Thanks for watching. Peace out.